अब हम देख लेते हैं कि ये कैसे कैसे ये इंडिकेटर्स अपना कलर चेंज करते हैं जब हम इनको पुट करते हैं किसी एसिडिक मीडियम में, या फिर तब जब हम इनको पुट करते हैं किसी बेसिक मीडियम में। तो सबसे पहले हम बात करते हैं लिटमस की। एंड इन द वेरी स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द चैप्टर मैंने आप लोगों को बताया था कि लिटमस के लिए एक एब्रिविएशन को याद रखना, दैट वाज ABR एंड BRB। यहाँ पे मैंने आपको ये बताया था कि दैट एसिड टर्न्स ब्लू लिटमस टू रेड। ठीक है, तो इफ ये जो लिटमस है इसकी कुछ स्ट्रिप्स आती हैं दैट आर ब्लू एंड रेड इन कलर। ठीक है, तो इफ वी आर यूजिंग ब्लू litmus paper or red one, so we can say that blue litmus paper in acidic medium will turn to red. As here you can see that I have written acid turns blue litmus to red, so it will change blue litmus to red. While second one abbreviation was BRB, that means basis turn red litmus to blue. So here this red color of this litmus paper will turn to blue, and the rest, like अगर हम पुट करें इस रेड वाली बेसिक मीडियम में तो इट विल रिमेन अनचेंज, दैट मीन्स देयर विल बी नो चेंज इन कलर। एंड सेम अगर हम बात करें इस रेड वाले लिटमस पेपर की, एंड वी हैव टू पुट अगेन इन दिस एसिडिक मीडियम, तो देयर विल बी नो चेंज एट ऑल, एज वी नो दैट एसिड टर्न करते हैं ब्लू लिटमस को रेड लिटमस पेपर में। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट बात करते हैं टर्मरिक, दैट इज हल्दी, जो हम लोग घर में कॉमनली यूज करते हैं। तो हल्दी, अगर हम हल्दी का बात करें तो इसका इनिशियल कलर यू नो वेरी वेल, इट इज येलो इन कलर। एंड जब हम इस पे पुट करेंगे, इस हल्दी को पुट करेंगे इन एसिडिक मीडियम में, तो देयर विल बी नो चेंज, दैट मीन्स इट विल रिमेन अनचेंज और इट विल रिमेन येलो। बट व्हेन वी पुट दिस टर्मरिक इन बेसिक मीडियम, तो इट विल चेंज टू रेड कलर। ठीक, तो अगर हम बात करें मिथाइल ऑरेंज की, तो इट इनिशियल कलर इज लाइट ऑरेंज, एंड व्हेन जब हम इस मिथाइल ऑरेंज को डालेंगे किसी एसिडिक मीडियम में, तो इट कलर्स विल चेंज फ्रॉम लाइट ऑरेंज टू रेड। सेम इज द केस व्हेन हम दिस मिथाइल ऑरेंज को डालेंगे किसी बेसिक मीडियम में, तो इट कलर विल चेंज टू येलो। नाउ मूविंग टू नेक्स्ट इंडिकेटर, दैट इज फिनोल्फथलीन। फिनोल्फथलीन का स्टार्टिंग कलर जो होता है, इनिशियल कलर जो होता है, that means it is colorless, that means it has no colorless, it is transparent। जब हम इस phenolphthalein को डालेंगे किसी acidic medium में, तो you will find that there will be no change, that means it will remain colorless only। But when you put this phenolphthalein in basic medium, its color will change from colorless to pink। So these are the color changes you will observe in all these indicators। So now let us discuss some chemical properties of acid, bases and salts। So first of all we have to know so first property is that what happens when acid and bases react with metals। तो सिंपली हम कह सकते हैं कि क्या होता है जब एसिड एंड बेसिस रिएक्ट करते हैं किसी मेटल के साथ। तो दिस वाज द सेकंड पॉइंट। नाउ तो डिस्कस करते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल, व्हेन एनी एसिड रिएक्ट विद मेटल, it forms a particular salt plus hydrogen gas evolved। Same is the case with base। When a base reacts with a metal, it will form a salt and hydrogen gas. So simply we can write that whenever an acid or a base react with metals, they form a particular type of salt and hydrogen gas will evolve out. For example, if suppose I'm writing an example of acid, that is HCl, you know very well that HCl is a hydrochloric acid. When it reacts with a metal, that means zinc, it will form ZnCl2 plus hydrogen gas. Now अब इस रिएक्शन को हम बैलेंस कर लेते हैं. So as you can see that there are two atoms of hydrogen on the left hand side, so we can write 2 here. Now it is a balanced reaction. As well as we can write the state of this. This is aqueous in state, this thing is in solid in state, this thing again is aqueous state, and this hydrogen is gaseous in state. Now moving to next, now we have a base. Suppose for example we are having a base. This NaOH is sodium hydroxide. Now when it is going to react with zinc, which is solid in state, and this sodium hydroxide is aqueous in state, it will again form a salt plus hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas which will be gaseous in state, and a salt named sodium zincate will form, and sodium zincate formula is Na2ZnO2, which will be aqueous in state. So these are the two salts. Here we can write this is sodium zincate, ZnCate, and this is zinc chloride. Zinc chloride. So this is the first chemical property of acid and bases. The second chemical property, we have to see that how do metal carbonates, metal के carbonate and metal के hydrogen carbonate, metal hydrogen carbonate react with acid. So for this we have, suppose we are having this metal carbonate. When we react this metal carbonate with any acid, it will give you three things. They are a particular type of salt plus carbon dioxide and plus water. Same is the case with metal hydrogen carbonate. Metal hydrogen carbonate, when react with the acid, it will give you a salt plus carbon dioxide plus water at the same time. एंड मैं आपको बता दूं, ये जो मेटल के कार्बोनेट्स होते हैं ये कुछ इस तरीके से लिख सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल वी आर हैविंग अ मेटल एज सोडियम and carbonate formula we write as CO3. Same is with metal hydrogen carbonate, but metal में suppose again we are having a metal sodium then we have got hydrogen, then we have got carbonate in this. We can write this metal carbonate as this and metal hydrogen carbonate as this. So now we can easily write that what happens when metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates react with acid. So in this we can write that when metal carbonates react with acid, they form a particular type of salt, carbon dioxide gas and water. Now for example, suppose we again are having a metal carbonate, that is Na2CO3. This is sodium carbonate, and when it react with acid, twice of HCl, so one surety is there that 101% you will get this carbon dioxide and water. So let us write this carbon dioxide and water first. Alright, now try to balance this one carbon on the right hand side. We have this. Now we can eliminate this. Now we have got how many oxygens? 3 atoms are on the right hand side and 3 atoms are on the left hand side. Now we are having 2 hydrogen atoms on the right hand side and 2 hydrogen atoms are here. Now what is left? What is left? This chlorine, yeah, chloride is left, and this sodium is left. So we can write them over here as NaCl, that is twice of NaCl. So here we have got what? Sodium chloride, carbon dioxide, as well as water. We can write its states too. This sodium carbonate is aqueous. This hydrochloric acid is again aqueous. This NaCl is again aqueous. This carbon dioxide is a gas, you know very well, so we can write G for it. And this hydrogen is liquid in state. Now moving to next one. This is metal hydrogen carbonate. तो इसको कुछ यहाँ लिख लेते हैं. So this is a metal hydrogen carbonate, and when we are going to react it with acid, twice of HCl, this is hydrochloric acid. इसका state पहले ही लिख लेते हैं. This is aqueous. This is again aqueous. And when we are going to react a metal hydrogen carbonate with acid, so again there is surety that you will definitely get what? Carbon dioxide plus water. Now try to eliminate the atoms on the left hand side and on the right hand side. So here we have got one carbon, here we have got one carbon. You can eliminate like this. Then we have got 2 oxygen and 1 is here. So 3 on the right hand side and 3 on the left hand side. You can eliminate like this. Then again we are having hydrogen, 2 hydrogen atoms on the right hand side and 2 atoms on the left hand side. Now you can see what is left. What is left? No, this is something. यहाँ पर अब हमको 2 लिखने का जरूरत नहीं है क्योंकि 2 hydrogen are here and 1 is this and 1 is this. Now what is left? You can see that Na is left over here and Cl is left over here. So we can write it as NaCl. That is common salt again. This is aqueous in state. This is gaseous in state, and this is liquid in state. So here are the products. Now the third property is that how do acid and bases react with each other? As I have told you earlier that whenever an acid reacts with base, it will form a salt and water. So you can write that whenever an acid reacts with a base, it will form a salt and water. And this reaction is also known as neutralization reaction. For example, if you are having acid as HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, and a base, sodium hydroxide, let us write its states. It is aqueous, it is also aqueous, and when they both are going to react, they are going to form a salt, that is NaCl. As you can see over here, this Na will go towards Cl and will form NaCl, and these 2 atoms of hydrogen and oxygen will combine with this hydrogen to form water. As you know very well, the state of water is liquid, and this NaCl is again aqueous. So this is the reaction of acid with base. Now again, the fourth one chemical property is that how do metal oxide, metal के oxide react with acid. So we can write that whenever a metal oxide react with acid, again it will give a particular type of salt plus water. For example, again, if you are having ZNO as metallic oxide, and when it will react with acid, suppose we are having HCl again, so it will form a salt. That salt will be Zn plus Cl2. You can write 2 over here, 2 balance set, ZnCl2 a salt that will be formed, and the remaining, this two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen will come here as water. Again, you can write the state as HCl ZNO का लिख लेते पहले. ZNO is solid state, HCl is again aqueous in state, and this ZnCl2 is again aqueous in state, and this water is in liquid state. So this is the fourth property of metals, that how do metal oxides react with acids. So simply you can write that whenever a metal oxide react with acid, it forms salt as well as water. Now the fifth one property of acid bases, we can write over here that how do non-metallic oxides react with base. So we can write over here that whenever a non-metallic oxide react with a base, it will again form a salt and water. As you can see over here that, for example, if I write carbon dioxide, which is a non-metal, and when it reacts with a base, for example, we have got calcium hydroxide, it will be written as this, it will form a salt, namely calcium carbonate, plus water will evolve out. As you can see over here, one calcium atom is here, one is here, one carbon is here, one is here, and three oxygen atoms we can take from here, two from here and one from here. What is left? Two hydrogen and one oxygen, as we have written as H2O, that is water. If you have to write state, you know very well what is the state of carbon dioxide is gas, calcium hydroxide will be aqueous in state, this calcium carbonate will be solid state, and this hydro water will be liquid in state. So this is the fifth property of that how do non-metallic oxides react with base. So we can write as non-metallic oxide, whenever react with base, they form salt and water. So far we have discussed all these chemical properties of acid and bases. As first one we have discussed that whenever an acid reacts with a metal, it will form a particular type of salt and hydrogen gas will evolve out. Secondly, we have discussed about base. Whenever base reacts with a metal, it will form a salt and hydrogen gas will evolve out. When a metal carbonate reacts with acid, it will give you salt, carbon dioxide as well as water. And whenever metal hydrogen carbonate react with acid, it will give you a salt, carbon dioxide and water. Next one, first one we have discussed that whenever a metallic oxide react with an acid, it will give you a salt and water. Then lastly we have discussed about whenever a non-metallic oxide react with a base, it will give you a salt as well as water. So these you have to remember that one thing is common in that every time you have got what? Salt. So all these properties you have to remember at least for your 10th class.